too thick on the attempted pot that time for Ronnie, but that red's just crept far enough past the brown to hide the potting angle. A little bit fortunate there with the red coming that far up the table not to leave a pot on for Jimmy.
That's a very good safety shot from Jimmy. That could get Ronnie O'Sullivan thinking just a little. Oh, he could just see the edge of the red, but he's missed it.
Foul.
Cannon the yellow.
Nice.
In all honesty,
Jimmy White.
that could have gone even more wrong for Ronnie. Could have left an easy red on there for Jimmy. I think may exercise his right to have the balls replaced. Jimmy being left-handed, I don't think he can reach the red along the right-hand side cushion. Thought for a moment this cue will cannon full ball into the pink. He's taking this other red on. Well, I'm glad to see Jimmy taking shots like that on. It's probably the best thing to do. You don't want to be refusing pots against somebody like Ronnie O'Sullivan. You'll just see that as a sign that you're not feeling very confident.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Dom. I think players, you see a lot of players, as soon as a referee calls foul and a miss, their first instinct is just to replace the balls. So sometimes can create some negative shot choices. It was good to see Jimmy take that on. You knew it was an opportunity if he knocked it in. He played a nice safety shot there. Table at the moment not looking quite so inviting for a clearance, but still some good safety being played here by Jimmy. Cue ball's going close to this corner. Jimmy would have liked that to have gone in, would have left him a much easier pot, but he'll definitely be taking this one on. Shouldn't be a natural in-off to left middle, we can just avoid that, I think. Yeah, just avoided the in-off. Nice pot.
What Jimmy would love to be able to do here is just drop the blue in and flick that pink away from the red if he could. It's the sort of shot that Jimmy likes to play, these delicate little cannons. Oh, he's just missed it. Oh, he's edging slowly back into this frame, but he is still 28 points adrift of Ronnie, with 2 reds remaining, so just one more mistake from Jimmy could be his last here, so he needs to be very careful.
Jimmy White, 6.
He won't be happy with that one as he walks away from the table. Not only did he not get the snooker behind the yellow, but he's left Ronnie a chance at this red. Seemed an inviting target, stunning behind the yellow there, but didn't get enough juice into the cue ball, and this red definitely pots for Ronnie. He's overcut it. At first glance, he's left it for Jimmy, so this is a chance. Cue ball's going to be coming down the right hand side of the table, I think. He's got a chance if he wants to. Be quite ambitious and try and move the other red when potting this red. That will really set the clearance up, should it come off.
I think he played the developing cannon as you suggested, Joe. I think I would have done the same. He'll be delighted to finish so nicely on the blue. Don't know if you can play a deep screw here and screw into the red, but you could certainly leave a double on it. Double it is. And Jim is pretty good at doubles, and in all honesty, if there's such a thing as an easy double, this is probably it.
6.
Yeah, so I'm expecting to get this double, but the clearance, there's still a little bit of work to do. Yellow and green are close to each other, so no problem getting on them, but the trouble is he's got to get from green to brown, and the green's on the wrong side of the table for Jimmy, being a left-hander. So I may try and tackle that now. But now the cue has gone
7.
too far. Can't pot the green now, so it's all going to be about that shot from green to brown, you feel.
Yeah, I think Jimmy decided to leave the green where it was because obviously getting onto it from the yellow is easy. But this is the key shot, isn't it? If he can get perfectly on this green,
14.
the clearance will certainly be on for Jimmy. Try to develop it. There you go. You see, Jimmy didn't want to have to play it with the rest. It hasn't worked out. The double's on again here for Jimmy, but it's absolutely no good to him positionally. So he just needs a good safety shot here, I feel.
Yeah, I think he missed the trick there, Dom. I think I would have been trying to pot that green off the last red. But that's how you see it sometimes. Don't always know how players are feeling out there. But he's back in this frame, just 12 behind. But if this green passes the pink, it's a possible shot to nothing for Ronnie. Cue ball will be going up somewhere towards the brown. Oh, and that's a nice friendly glance off the brown. Not got a full ball snooker here on the green, but it's going to be very difficult for Jimmy now to get this safe. That pink's looking more like a cricket ball than a snooker ball. That's going to be right in the way there.
Yeah. Problem is as well, if he does play a thin edge off the green, he's got to be very careful not to leave it over the left corner. Well, in the end, played a bit of both. Played the deliberate cannon into the pink. And green over to the side cushion. I think that's about as good as Jimmy could have done from there, really. Not too difficult to hit the green, but of course it's the age-old problem. He's got to get it safe.
Yeah, that's the only trouble in it when you're playing safe, Dom. It's okay playing containing safety shots, but you're always opening yourself up to find yourself in trouble next shot. But good hit from Jimmy. Needs this cue ball to run. Oh, can he get through to the potting angle here? Big moment in this frame. Not sure from Ronnie's body language. Might just be able to squeeze through. Yeah, he could.
3.
He's potted it nicely, so a little bit unfortunate there for Jimmy. Green could have gone anywhere really when he made contact with it, and to finish so close to the holes, rather disappointing from his point of view.
Yes, in goes the brown. That's frame ball for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Simple pink. Right over that right corner pocket. I don't think this blue's going to trouble Ronnie either.
12.
So, two rather lengthy opening frames. This one stopping about 5 minutes short of the first, but still
18.
nevertheless over 22 minutes. But Ronnie O'Sullivan gets the winning clearance and extends his lead. And now here's Jimmy White by 2 frames to 0.
So back-to-back frames for Ronnie O'Sullivan. He takes a 2-0 lead. Just a bit of a result to update you on from earlier on today. World number 9 Ding Junhui was up against Pang Junsu. Now, this is in the 6th frame. Pang is leading by 3 frames to 2. Ding with a chance to pull the score level, but he misses that pink, and you can see how frustrated he was with that. He goes on to lose that match, Darren.
Well, obviously, be extremely disappointed under normal circumstances to lose in the early stages of this Welsh Open, but to also lose to a fellow Chinese player That'll really be hurting him right now. I know what it was like when I was playing and losing to a Welsh player. You know, it's nothing worse in your own head. But he gave the pink, you know, he gave it a great chance going down the crush in just dropping it in, but it had to go in. It didn't. He lost the match.
The 2012 winner is out of the competition, but well done to Pang Junsu, who makes it through to the next round. Let's analyse that frame there. What did you make of it?
Little bit of a scrappy one, wasn't it, really? You know, Ronnie had a couple of chances, didn't really make enough of his chances. Jimmy had a couple, struggled to get in good position. It looked like he might pinch it at the end, or he had a chance of pinching it, but I think a fair result so far is Ronnie being 2-0 ahead. But Jimmy has had his chances, but when you're not playing out there on the TV match table all the time, it's going to be harder. You know, that was familiar territory to him 15, 20 years ago. It's not so familiar now. It's familiar to Ronnie, but different kind of a match to, I think, what we expected coming out.
Yeah, and I mean, Ronnie was saying yesterday that it's never easy to play somebody that you like, and that's obviously playing a part in this match.
Look, they love each other. You know, Ronnie said in his pre-VT that, you know, I love him. You know, he's been around forever, haven't he, Jimmy? 40 years and still counted on the Pro Tour. It's an unbelievable feat in itself when you think of all the greats that retired early, which you would now consider maybe they retired in their prime. But, you know, it's all to play for. He's still in the match. It isn't all over yet. But important, he gets a frame on the board, and it's this frame.
Very important frame coming up for Jimmy White. Into frame 3 we go.
Yes, interesting thoughts there from Morgan. He has had his chance of Jimmy White in both of these frames, and he's lost them both, so if he doesn't win this next frame, very difficult to see him beating somebody like Ronnie O'Sullivan from 3 behind. But Ronnie O'Sullivan's performance will give him cause for concern, even if he does progress in this match. Both these players have shared the table time. They're both at 50% in terms of table time, but that man there has won both of the frames that have been played. And you see the pot success. Joe, have you ever seen Ronnie O'Sullivan down at 82%?
No, that's a very rare stat. Probably hasn't played 82% in the last 10 years, I should imagine. But it's been one of them games so far. It just goes to show you never really know what's going to happen in this game. For all the world would have thought Ronnie would have come out, especially after watching him yesterday, all guns blazing, knocking in 1 visit, some big breaks. It just hasn't turned out that way. Sometimes the balls dictate how a match of snooker pans out. Jimmy just having a look here. It looks like a big pocket, but it's not as straightforward as that. Jimmy has to hit the left jaw first, and he did, and he's played that nicely. So this is a nice scoring chance for Jimmy. Okay, the reds aren't sitting perfectly, but the black's in the open. Got his hand on the table. And you feel, even though Ronnie's not firing all cylinders, the best way to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan
8
is with 1 visit. It's very hard to win in bits and pieces. And Jimmy's going to have to start scoring a bit heavier. He's going to contest this match.
He's just not getting through the ball, Jimmy White. He's not bringing the cue back rather on the final backswing very far. He's rather trying to create power from a short backswing, and it's putting a bit of stun on the ball instead of pure topspin. Ooh, is this red in? Wow, goodness me.
Jimmy White.
Well,
8.
it was a poor positional shot really from black to red. And although Jim is such a great player with the rest, he's under a lot of pressure here, and it's told with that shot there, just put it onto the near jaw, and they don't very often go in off that near jaw. That's another chance that's gone astray for Jimmy.
Yeah, and I think that shot is also a sign that we're in
1.
day 3. On day 1, I think that red would have dropped in. I watched the match this morning with Ding Junhui, and a couple of the balls that have been dropping all of a sudden are staying in the jaws. Pockets are not playing quite as generous as they were on day 1. But again, Ronnie O'Sullivan, things are not going
8.
his way today, even though he's winning this match. Ball's not being very friendly. Could have easily had a Easy red to right corner here after that shot, but he's going to have to knock this mid-range red in. Keep this break going.
Nine.
Nice clean pot. So he's back in prime position now. Although Ronnie's in front this match, he won't be too happy with how he's played so far.
Yes, we're more familiar with Ronnie's rumbustious attacking style of play, aren't we? But
12.
we've seen none of that yet. Well, we see some of it here.
13.
Probably overscrewed that a little. But you could play cannon into the pack of reds if you wished, although there are loose ones to play for.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of Ronnie's break building, which is different to some of the more modern day top players.
18.
You very rarely see Ronnie crash into the pink off the blue. He likes to be more controlled in the way he goes about his break building.
19.
If he can help it, tries not to depend on too much luck when playing into the pack. And you can see there straight away that one pot he's made there has freed up another 3 or 4 reds, so he's definitely
26.
a great architect when it comes to break building. Goes about it in such a special way, so easy on the eye.
27.
Well, this is looking much more like it.
32.
Sullivan decided to go into them on that occasion, and they split very well. Yes, he's a very different style, a great builder to Judd Trump. Judd always blast that cube
32.
into the pack of reds as early as possible to get them spread far and wide. Only very different to Judd. Suppose you could call him a more orthodox break builder. Judd does seem to see the game differently to
40.
many others. It certainly
41.
works for Judd. A runaway leader at the top of the rankings. At the moment, seems to be a player that's very difficult to get the better of.
$48. 49.
It's a bit more like it from Ronnie though, a bit more fluent. Average shot times gradually creeping down into the teens. Another nice little controlled cannon there. There you see, just under the 20 seconds now.
54.
As he keeps control of that cue ball, that will come down even further.
$55.
Well, again, for a few minutes, a bit quicker this frame. It's very close to the winning line in this frame. Just looking for a couple more reds, colours.
This is easily Ronnie O'Sullivan's best effort of the match. 61 and counting. Eclipses his
61.
previous best of 42, which he made in frame 1. And this left-handed. He's quite happy
62.
playing. You could play a whole match left-handed Ronnie O'Sullivan and still be difficult to beat. Has this incredible degree of ambidexterity. And this game now should be in the bag for Ronnie O'Sullivan. There you have
69.
it, 61 points ahead, but just 59 remain. And I can't see Jimmy White returning to the table here. Just remains to see
70.
if Ronnie O'Sullivan rather can increase his career tally of century breaks, which currently stands 1,087. But unfortunately, the
Ronnie
black
O'Sullivan,
goes
70.
astray.
And the
So the
front.
break ends at 70, but it's more than enough for Ronnie O'Sullivan. He increases his lead over Jimmy White by 3 frames to 0. fascinating look back there on Ronnie O'Sullivan's glittering career. Some of the statistics. The only player to date to make 1,000 century breaks as a professional player. Difficult to know how long Ronnie can go on for, but he certainly seems to me to be capable of winning ranking events for quite a few more years to come. Already made 1,087 centuries, 52 of them this season. Sorry, last season. He's made 26 this season. Of course, our current defending world champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan. World Championships is just a couple more months away now. Of course, it was held much later in the season last season because of the pandemic.
Thank you, Ronnie.
He hasn't had to enjoy
Frame 4.
his
Ronnie
reign as
O'Sullivan
world
to break.
champion for as long as normal. Prepares here to break off for what he hopes will be the last frame of this match. Just one more frame required to book his place into round 3.
So as we often see off the break-off, this red pokes its head out and sticks it up for his opponent. The red below the black might be causing Jimmy a problem here with his eye line. Yeah, maybe had just one eye on that. Would have been much easier, that shot, had that red not been there. That red's got the table, but not in a pot position for Ronnie, so a bit of a reprieve there for Jimmy, although he could find himself behind a baulk colour here. Oh, Ronnie just keeping things safe, making no effort to get a snooker there. So, last chance saloon really for Jimmy. He's got to up his game. It's very difficult, as we all know, playing Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's so easy to sort of go a bit within yourself and not play to your own ability. He's going to have to up it if he wants to get back into this match.
It's worth mentioning, of course, that this is Jimmy White's first match at this year's Betfits Welsh Open, because he was beneficiary of the walkover in the first round. Mark Joyce was due to be his opponent there, but he showed some signs of COVID, so decided to withdraw. Ronnie O'Sullivan had that emphatic victory over Robbie Williams in round 1. Scored very heavily in that match. Beat Robbie Williams by 4 frames to 0, although Robbie did have a few chances in that match and maybe a little bit disappointed he didn't make the most of them.
One.
Disappointment for Jimmy there. He was playing what he thought was just a straightforward 2-cushion escape into the bunch, but misjudged it slightly and left the red on for Ronnie. So a long way to go here, but we always like the black to be on its spot, but on this occasion, black not being on its
6.
spot will probably help Ronnie. As long as he finishes off ball on this black. Oh, that was an absolute monster kick. We don't see too many of them
O'Sullivan.
anymore,
6.
but they don't come much bigger than that.
Wow, huge kick. And I think because he was playing it with a trace of check side, whenever you get a kick in conjunction with side on the cue ball, it really does accentuate the push off.
Okay.
Well, he is one of these players that sticks with the original brand of chalk that were often favoured by players until this new variety was introduced several years ago. This red is another testing one for Jimmy. Too thin, and he's left it. But you're absolutely right, Joe. This black's in a good spot there for Ronnie. He may well play for it half ball again here.
1.
It's absolutely A1, so can play a cannon now into the pack of reds and try and develop something. Always need to be careful. You don't pot a red into a centre pocket or something. No danger of that, but it could have finished better.
8.
Could have finished a lot better. No pot available for Ronnie, so again, just runs back up to Bork. But that
Ronnie
safety
O'Sullivan,
shot's freed a
8.
few more reds, so pressure on Jimmy's safety shot. You can get through to the red on the right hand side of the table, so shouldn't have too much problem getting back to Bork. Be trying to hide this cue ball somewhere behind the green spot if you can. And if it travels, that's a good shot. If he can block off this right hand side of the bunch. It's a good shot from Jimmy. Exactly as played. Made the return for Ronnie that much more difficult.
You can see Ronnie applying side spin to the cue ball there to try and just bend it around that green slightly. Got too much on it. But this mid-range red won't look easy to Jimmy White, I can assure you.
Yeah, Jimmy dropped his head there, but that was a tough pot really when you think what's gone on in this match so far. Had Jimmy been queuing nicely and been well in this match, maybe 2-1 up or something, would have potted that no problem, but it was full of pressure, that pot. Knew he was going to be leaving the game and match for Ronnie should he miss it.
1.
And now that red's gone in. Ronnie's off and running here. Reds are not ideally situated. They're spread nicely, but sort of a couple of them are blocking each other, so he's got to be careful with his position. It's one of them situations, Dom, where as he pots one red, it will probably release another red, and if you're looking to get one more
7.
frame to win the match, this is sometimes how you want them.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. May also have a potential plant there to the left corner, the two reds together. Looks to be set
8.
for a plant. I don't think that'll come to the equation just yet, though. Ronnie would like to. You see the two reds, unmissable really, that plant. Ronnie's first task will be just to free the pink spot up. And potting this red to the right corner, he can just nudge the red below it out of the way a little.
14.
Decide to play for the pink to the same pocket.
50.
Got a feeling there he might play it to the right centre. This is the thing when the reds and colours are like this. There's so many options available to you. If you're not on one red, you're usually on another.
$21. 22.
Looking very ominous now for Jimmy. Maybe in his chair, not expecting to get back to the table, but you have to be ready should something surprisingly happen. Only just looking if he can get on these two reds. Doesn't have to, of course. There's enough loose ones there to win the frame without messing about with them, but like all great break builders, you like the black to be available into both pockets.
$29. 30.
Well, if he isn't on the red to the right corner, well, he is.
37.
There are other options there for
38.
Ronnie. Ronnie's highest break in this match was in the last frame, one of 70. The chance for a century break. Mr. Black. Jimmy White's highest break in this match is a lowly 20.
44.
Even though he has had 45% of the table time, has got in first in quite a few of the frames.
45.
Well, he's just seeing if he's pushed the plant off course. He may not have done. It can still be made, but it's unlikely he'll need to bother with the plant. So this next red, that's why the right centre or right corner will be frame
52.
and match ball, barring snookers. Any
53.
colour will do. And I'm sure Jimmy White, sat in his chair, will reflect on this match as one that maybe he could have won. If he'd have known that Ronnie O'Sullivan would perform the way he has in this match, I think Jimmy would have been a little more confident about his own chances of winning it.
58. 59.
You
64.
can see the construction of this break of 64,
65.
utilising the pink, the black and the blue. Oh, he's missed another black. Too much
Ronnie
thought of the
O'Sullivan,
cannon,
65.
but I don't think Ronnie O'Sullivan
match.
will worry
Cheers
too
to
much.
match.
Jimmy White does indeed concede.
So Ronnie
Well, it wasn't the
O'Sullivan.
scintillating snooker we were expecting from Ronnie O'Sullivan or from Jimmy White, but the job was done. Jimmy White sadly lacking in form, and it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who wins the match comfortably and goes into round 3 of this year's Bet Victor Welsh Open, a victor by 4 frames to 0.
He is indeed the winner with a 4-0 win over his friend Jimmy White. A scoreline that you expected as this match progressed?
Well, obviously, you know, hand on heart, you know, you wanted Jimmy to make a meal of it. You know, did I think he was going to make a meal and it'd be a close match? I always thought Ronnie was going to win comfortably. Maybe not 4-0, maybe 4-1, but, you know, Jimmy just wasn't at the races today. He had chances, but it's awful hard, you know, as Dominic alluded there in the commentary. It's very hard when you're not used to being out there on the match table and playing the top players. You know, he's normally out in the cubicles, and it was a big ask for him today, very big ask.
Yeah, and I guess you're right in the sense that he is somebody that doesn't play as regularly, and if you're playing against Ronnie O'Sullivan, you have to take your chances when you get them, and that's for any player playing Ronnie.
And to be fair today, mate, you know, Ronnie's given a lot more chances than you normally get, or what we've seen over the last couple of years. So Jimmy's going to come off there frustrated, because as he said in his interview before the match, he's worked hard, his game is already there. He wanted to go out and play well, it just didn't happen for him.
Have you ever had to play a very close friend before?
There's a couple, you know, 2 close friends. I used to be very close with Stephen Hendry many moons ago. It didn't affect him, he just used to wallop me every time he played me. And the other one was Nigel Bond, and we're still very close now, and that was awful when we used to play. You used to try and put it to one side, but it is awful when you're playing good friends, you know. There's no way of getting away from it. Off the table, your friends; on the table, you've got to be enemies.
You've got
It's
to keep that out of your mind.
easier said than done.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But as for Ronnie O'Sullivan, I mean, he's just such a class act. We saw what he did yesterday, and again, it was just very comfortable for him. Are you expecting him to go all the way in this tournament?
Look, you'd never bet against Ronnie. There's a couple in it. There's 3 or 4 you'd put in the mix that's going to win. There might be an outsider that'll come out of there and win the tournament. But, you know, every time Ronnie rocks up to a tournament, you know he's always going to be thereabouts, you know. And he's played such fantastic snooker over the last 3 or 4 years, and he's won a lot of events. You know, he's still full of confidence. And it's funny, at his age now, he's more settled in life than he's ever been. So you would think he's only going to improve from there.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking yesterday after his first round win about how he's into his running now. He seems to have that routine. He's really working on his fitness. He seems very focused on the game, even though sometimes he doesn't give that impression.
Well, I think the snooker's probably taken a bit of... He's playing in the events and everything, but, you know, he talks the snooker down a little bit. I keep on with the snooker because I do the exhibitions. I love doing the exhibitions. I just... You know, whether it's a bit of a ploy or to try and take a little bit away from the pressure there's out there with him to turn up and play well, he's just happy in life, you know, with his running and everything else that's going on. He's in a real good place. You can tell that when you're talking to him.
Yeah, and because of the times we're in, he was even saying himself that he's playing more snooker than he probably would have if we weren't in these times. So he's actually focused more on the snooker.
Yeah, well, he went through a period, didn't he? You know, he just... I won't say hated the game, but he was close to it and he was rebelling against it. You know, he was, this wasn't right, that wasn't, you know, I need to change this, I need to do that. I don't really want to play the snooker, I want to do other things. I got other career interests. But he seems to have turned all that around and he's found an happy place for himself. And that's a dangerous place for everybody else on the tour,
Yeah,
that if
it
he's
is.
happy and he turns up.
And he's performed well at the Home Nations tournament so far, finalist at the Northern Ireland Open and the Scottish Open as well. And I'm delighted to say that he's standing by to talk to us. Hello, Ronnie.
I can't hear nothing.
Oh, I don't know if he can hear
hello,
us.
Hello, yeah.
Hi,
I can hear you now.
hi. Congratulations. How did that feel?
Yeah, it felt you know, a little bit scrappy at the start, but I just had to stay focused, stay patient, control the emotions. All the sort of work I've done with Steve Peters over the years, just they come in handy, you know, in situations like that where you can get a bit frustrated. But you know, I managed to stay in a good place and try and ride it out and played a bit more fluent towards the end, you know. So yeah, very very happy. In some ways, more happy with that win today than I was yesterday, because obviously a lot more fluent yesterday, which is my natural way of playing most of the time. But today was I had to fight for it a bit, you know.
Hi Ronnie, it's well done on the win. Obviously, always awkward playing Jimmy, you know, you're great friends and everything. Tell me, how hard was it for you? You know, he's had chances there today. He's not out in the main arena that much these days. And how hard was it for you to watch him struggling, really, that he had his chances and he was unable to take them? I know you're very close. Always hard playing someone that you're big friends with and close. So how was you feeling when you could see that he was just struggling a tad?
Well, like I said, you know, the work I've done with Steve Peters, you try and just stay in your own lane, stay what you've got to do. You know, if Jimmy would have come out and done 2 centuries, I'd have still had to keep the same focus and determination. So you know what it's like as a snooker player. You know, you can't affect what your opponent does. So you have to, you know, most of the time, winning the match is done from sitting in the chair. You know, how do you handle them emotions? And I think for me that was important today. So you know, it's irrelevant of how Jimmy played for me, and it's irrelevant how any opponent plays against you. You know, you just have to stay in your own lane, and hopefully you get to the winning pose first. You know.
Ronnie, I've been reading about the fact that you've changed your diet quite a lot. You're drinking green tea a lot, having early nights. Has all of that helped you with your performances?
Well, I think, you know, in some ways you get to a certain stage in your career, you kind of go, well, where's the motivation? And I'd like to think that at 45, you know, I know I don't look 45, I look pretty fit and healthy because I look after myself. You know, I run 7-8 miles a day, you know, 40-50 miles a week, and I'm not saying, you know, people should do that, but I'm just thinking it just shows you if you take care of what God's given you, you know, anything's possible. You know, I managed to win the World Championships last year, one of the oldest winners in the history of the game. So hopefully there's a lot of late 30-year-olds out there, mid-40s, thinking, well, if Ronnie can do it, then why can't I? So yeah, I just think it's nice to kind of fly the flag for that sort of age group. You know, in a way you're bucking the trend. You know, I shouldn't really be winning tournaments at this stage of my career, especially World Championships. So to be able to do that, I think that you know, to win that world title last year was probably more impressive than all the other ones I've won, you know.
Well, it's always a pleasure to watch you, Ronnie, and to speak to you as well. Congratulations.
Sheshe.